Hello everybody, my name is Bragster and welcome back to my journey into journalism. We haven't done this in a while, have we? I don't know how long it's been especially since we've done shorthand. I know we've done my thoughts on semester 1, but we haven't done a proper video like this for a while. There's a good reason. I took a big break from shorthand. I took about a month off, I think. Should have the dates here. I took nearly 2 months off shorthand. Yeah. Not the best decision I ever made, but I wanted to take a break from doing work. So I did my shorthand towards like the end of November. And then I had a bunch of exams post that. So I focused a lot on my exams and took off from shorthand. I told myself once I'd finished my exams, I would go back to shorthand after like a week or two, which is exactly what I did. Maybe a bit long, it took a bit longer to go back than I thought, but I did it. I went back, and yes, it was nearly 2 months after, but the positive was I didn't really lose a beat. And I think it taught me a lot, because my worry with shorthand at least has been, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to do when I leave university or I don't do shorthand for a couple of months? Will I just lose it like you do any other skill? No, you don't really lose it. You might lose little bits, but you don't overall lose it. You remember all the basics. It's like the later stuff you'll forget. So I forgot a lot of Unit 7 because I was halfway through Unit 7 when I took the break. And so I forgot a lot of the stuff to do with letters Y, I, G and J. I thought it was a J, and then I looked in the camera and it looked like an owl from backwards. So I got worried that I was going to say the wrong one. But I did that, and you learned a Y at the end of a word. You learned what an I or a Y at the end of a word is. It's weird because right now I'm on Unit 9. Yeah, I've progressed a lot. We've started semester 2 now at uni, and we're flying. I'm doing a lot of shorthand at the moment, so these videos will probably come out a lot more frequently than they used to. A lot more frequently than I thought they would come out. We also learned Y at the end in the middle of a word, ly at the end of a word, oy at the end in a word. Then the letters J and G. All the different special outlines. I forgot a lot of these special outlines, so I've had to refresh my memory on stuff like immediately, particularly stuff like that. Then distinguishable outlines like the years of age, years old, stuff like that. And then we did exercise 7.2 and exercise 7.1. And looking at them, I did reasonably well. I think the hardest part is remembering all of these different words. Definitely with the special outlines, I would say focus on them, which is stupid because I don't personally. But I also am flying through the exercises as quickly as possible, and when I try and think about the different words, and definitely the special outlines are something that either you always go over or you develop a list and then you go over them towards the end, like over and over and over again, which I think I might do because I've not really focused solely on the special outlines, and as I'm flying through the exercises, I don't really want to halt my progress by constantly refreshing these special outlines. I might, I will learn them, and I am learning a few of them over time, but it's some of the special outlines you can work out, like city is a C and a Y in the T position. You little things like that, and it's more visual. I've noticed as the units go on, you become more visual of things are positioned in a certain way, and things get cut out, and you'll notice that in the next 2 units a lot of letters start to get removed or jumbled together. I think this is one of the last exercises, at least, where you're not really missing letters out, or you're not working out any new tricks. You're just working out what the best way to put a certain group of letters is together. But even then, you're cutting letters out and you don't even realise you're doing it. Like sometimes, like I think my hardest thing is I get a word in my head. So like ended up being boys in the little text thing here. I'll show you what I did there. Ended up being boys, and I put buyers because I had in my head it was buy and then an S. I needed to get in my head that it was BYS, not just BYS and then anything in the middle. And that's something I get in my head quite often, is I'll race ahead, I'll get an idea and I'll just run with it, and which is great in normal life. In shorthand it's not great. You need to really think of it logically, which has been a difficulty at times, but I was really happy with unit 7.2. I basically moved straight on to unit 8. I didn't lose a beat. I was considering rereading everything before, but I wanted to test out whether this break would affect me too much, and it didn't. And that's not me being arrogant, I genuinely just didn't. I wanted to test myself, and when I did, it seemed to work, weirdly enough. Quite funny, I've been doing this unit for about 3 months. I'd been doing this unit, but yeah, I was reasonably happy. I think with this exercise, with this unit, I won't say it's easy because it's not, especially when it comes to the special outlines, but it's easy to get in a habit. That's the difference, is there seems to be a pattern with this unit, especially with the Y's and stuff at the end, the I's and the Y's at the end of words just being a little dash. You'll find out that I's and Y's are treated as the exact same letter, and you'll work out based off positioning what it is. I'm just looking at the J and the G here. It doesn't really, nothing really changes, except from obviously if a J comes after a M or an N, it turns into a G. But that, again, it's a pattern. It's not, you're not learning any of these weird, wacky, different outlines, or missing words out that aren't meant to be missed, or adding letters in that are meant to be in there. There's none of this swapping and changing. Quite simply, it's just patterns, and you learn the patterns over time, and you'll get used to them. So yeah, I mean, I would say a lot more about this unit, but I don't think there's anything much more to say. It's about learning patterns, and if you struggle with patterns, definitely drill them. I'm very good with patterns personally, which is why I think I managed to do this exercise reasonably quickly, because I work based off patterns. Because if, again, as I said, if I get an idea, I run with it. So it's like, oh, well, I see a familiar thing, I can do this, and sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong, but it's nice to see that I was getting things correct, and I feel like I actually improved. I think not putting as much pressure on myself for a little bit, and not trying to rush it, just trying to wait it out for a little bit until I wanted to go back, or I felt like I needed to go back, was worth it. And it depends where you are in your learning process. If you're in a stage where you are learning a lot, and you know it's all scheduled in timetables and stuff, then yeah, don't take a break. Do exactly what your tutors are saying. But if in your own time, maybe just in your own time, if you feel like you're getting bogged down with it, just take a few days. I know I took 2 months, but that's because of exams. But just take a couple of days. Just take a couple of days just to take your mind off of things, and don't worry about it, because I feel like that's something you can very easily do with shorthand, is worry, and it's nothing to worry about whatsoever. This is something that does seem to be getting easier as the units go on, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's because more and more patterns occur, more things occur that relate to multiple words, and you'll work that out. And it also becomes a lot easier to read, because you know, oh, okay, that's this word, because you know that this one letter, which will come to the letter out later, but P and out are in one stroke. and whereas beforehand you'd be like, oh, what's that, or you would be trying to join up all these letters. It's a lot easier to read. It might be more difficult to write and maybe to get used to that, but definitely to read it's becoming a lot easier, and we'll get to that obviously in the later units. But right now there's not really much advice. I would just say just go through the unit. The unit basically does enough as it is. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button if you like this video, and I'm happy that I'm doing this stuff again. I am going to be flying through units recently. I'm recording the next video of the next unit straight after this, so it's a weird one for me to just sit here and go, right, what was I thinking at the time? But hopefully this was helpful for some of you to, you know, not look at this quite dauntingly. Do ask anything in the comments down below though if you do need a hand. My Twitter is also down in the comments down below. I keep saying comments. Description. My Twitter is in the description down below as well, so just DM me or just tweet me and I will help in whatever way I can. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I shall see all of you guys in the next video. See ya!